Okay, so as announced last night, today's topic is going to be about grammar, since we have noticed that most of you have a dilemma in your grammar, in your sentence construction. And a lot of you hindi makasagot ng maayos sa interview because of lack of proper sentence structure. So today we're going to do a little refresher lesson about grammar and how you're going to use your verbs and other parts of your sentences. Okay? So hopefully this lesson is going to be helpful because, as you know, grammar is actually part of all the components of your IELTS test, right? It's important in writing, very important in writing, and definitely very important in speaking as well. Okay, so who among you have difficulty when it comes to grammar? You're not confident with your grammar. Okay, I see. Oh, wow, I only see dalawang tao lang na hindi nag-raise ng hands. And then, hi, good morning. Please take a seat. So, as I was saying, I know that everyone is intimidated when it comes to their grammar or sentence construction. Even native speakers or local people in America, they are not following appropriate grammar. However, in the IELTS setting, we need to follow the standard, which is formal way of handling conversations. And of course, in writing, you also need formal vocabulary and tone. That's why even though local people in the US, they don't speak their grammar smoothly, like perfectly, nagkakamali-mali rin sila. However, in IELTS, it's very important for you to be able to refresh your grammar. Okay? Kasi kailan pa ba yon? High school pa ba yung lesson ng grammar? Or, I don't know, nagkaroon ba kayo ng English grammar ng college? If hindi ka English major, I don't think you would have that minor course. Am I right? Okay. So, I know medyo nangalawang na tayo, but let's try our best. Okay? So that you can achieve the band score, because that's the goal here, for you to be able to achieve the band score that you need and that you want in your IELTS. In my glasses. And grammar accounts for 25% of your score in speaking and in writing, right? And of course, it's useful in reading. Meron akong isang student na nagpapa-coach sa akin ng IELTS. We were on the reading part last week. Nagpa-one-on-one siya sa akin. And then, we figured out, because of the structure of the sentence, he cannot identify the right answer in the reading passage. Kasi nga, di ba, paraphrased na yung mga questions sa reading. Hindi siya exactly na mahahanap mo sa passage. That's why it's important for you to be competent in grammar and sentence structure. Because sentences are paraphrased. Ibig sabihin, same ng meaning, pero different structure. Okay? That's why you need to be aware of the various sentence structures and techniques in grammar. Okay, we will start talking about verbs. Verbs is one of the most commonly used words in your sentences, right? Okay, so verbs are, who can recall? Action words. Okay, anything that you do, anything that you act upon is a verb. Okay, so the two main points of okay lang po. Kasi ba't napapatingin kayo sa kanya eh? Alright, so the two main parts of a sentence is the noun or the subject and the verb. Without those two, your sentences will be irrelevant. Okay? Or what you call dependent clauses. Ayun ba dyan? Dumadami na kayo. Ay, hindi na. Alangasan ko lang. All right, but did you know that it gets really confusing because verbs come in different forms, okay? We have auxiliary and we have other verbs. So let's first talk about the auxiliary verbs, okay? So we have be verbs and have verbs. We will find out later what is the difference between the two, okay? If you feel like I'm taking it a little faster, you can raise your hands and ask for clarification. Okay? Just if you need any questions. And to mga nasa Zoom, if you have questions, please drop them here in our chat thread. I'll read them whenever I can. Okay, so be verbs are actually verbs that link your main action. Okay, your subject and main action. For example, I am eating. Eating is the main action. Am is the be verb. You understand? Without the be verbs, your sentences are incomplete and incorrect. So we use am is are when we're talking about the present tense. It's happening now. Present. Okay? And of course, when we talk about the past tense, we use the be verbs was and were, depending if your subject is plural or singular. Wala naman yung plural at singular. Sige. Sa mga hindi nakakaalala, when we say singular from the word single, walang kasama, right? Okay, singular means isa lang, single, okay? Plural means more than one, two or more, okay? So pag si subject, let's say, the boys, ang gagamitin ba natin ay is or are? The boys are, okay? So plural subject, plural verb. Kailangan they have to agree. That's what you call subject verb agreement. Which we will be talking more about later. Okay? So for the future tense naman, we have will be, shall be. Okay? Ma'am, paano naman yung I am going to? Medyo magkaiba yan at nakakalito din, but I will intricately discuss the difference between will and going to later. Okay? And then we also have the have verbs. Have, has, it means you can use it in the present tense. In the past tense, of course, had. Okay? We have the word had for the past tense. And of course, for future tense, we have will have and shall have. Ma'am, ano ba pinagkaiba ng be verbs at saka have? Bakit ang dami niyo today? Magbawas tayo. Charot. Okay, wait. Okay, so what is the difference between be verbs and have verbs? Okay, so here, I'm gonna show you. When we are using the be verbs, is, am, is, was, were, are, being, we are talking about the existence. Okay, I am currently here in this review center. Existence, right? But when we are talking about have, we're using it to show possession. Ma'am, ano ba yung possession? Ibig sabihin, when you own something. Okay? I have my laptop, meaning this laptop is mine. It expresses possession. But be verbs express existence. For example, I am rich. I am rich in my values, mga ganon. Okay? Kung hindi man monetary, sa values na lang tayo bumawi. Okay. So do you understand the difference of be verbs and have verbs? For those newcomers, our lesson today is Grammar 2, and this is highly essential for your IELTS because it's 25% of your writing, 25% of your speaking score. That's why today's lesson is going to be grammar. And we haven't had a grammar lesson in quite a long time. Sabi ko, magbabawas na dagdagan. I'm just kidding. Take a seat, please. Picture ako kaya, tapos i-flex ko kay Sir Kevin. Pag ako lecture, sabi mo pasok. I'm just kidding. Angry na naman niya yan. Okay, so if you combine the two, be verbs and have verbs together, it talks about an activity. Okay? For example, Mark is having lunch. Meron tayong be verb na is, which is parallel to Mark because Mark is a singular subject. Ibig sabihin, single lang si Mark. Single ka ba, Mark? Hindi wala, okay. But singular subject siya because he, okay? Mark is having, it's an activity or he's possessing that he has lunch right now. Okay? So, yes. If you put them together, it means there is an activity going on or an action. Okay. By the way, for those latecomers, if you do have any clarification, just raise your hands and ask the question and I'll entertain you later. For those na nasa Zoom, na parang wala namang tao sa Zoom right now because everyone is here. Yeah, please drop a DM if you want some clarifications or questions. Okay, so let's take a look at some example sentences. But if I were you, please bring out your notebooks or papers, whatever you have there. Please practice your sentences. Because habang dinidiscuss ko, dapat pinapractice yun yan para may retention. When we say retention, hindi nyo nakakalimutan yung tinuturo ko, okay? So that you can have the application of the lesson right away. What is it funny? Oh my God. So on the first example, we have the Lannisters are brave. As you can see, mama na ba yung Lannisters? It's in capital L, meaning it's the surname of a family. Okay? The Lannisters are brave. Hindi siya animal or a thing. Since nakakapitalize, we can assume that Lannisters is the last name of a family or person. Okay, Arya is eating in the restaurant. Jon Snow is an architect. Okay, so as you can see, these are all expressing existence, actions, and identity. All right. So if you were to write a sentence using are is, you have to express an existence. For example, Mark is having class in the review center. Okay? Okay. Now let's take a look at the examples using have verbs, which show possession. Okay. Sansa had chicken pox last summer. Tyrion has patience, which most of us don't have. Just kidding. Okay, so Tyrion has patience. Ibig sabihin, he possesses that kind of attribute, which is he's patient. Okay. Rob will have his birthday this June. Okay. In future tense naman siya. Okay. Rob will have his birthday this June. So Rob's birthday is in June. Okay, please write sentences. If you don't have pen and paper, you can write notes on your phone. That would be much better. The remote. Okay, now the combination of be verbs and have verbs. The combination is an activity. So this is how the structure is. They, since we have a plural subject, meaning more than two or more people, they are having lunch in the cafeteria. We have the be verb are and the have verb having. They are having lunch in the cafeteria, which is in present tense. Kung past tense, paano? They have had lunch, okay? So she was having her hair done when the earthquake happened. Okay, she was, this is in past tense. Kahit na may ing yung having past tense pa rin because the be verb that we use is was. And lastly, the last example, he is being ambivalent towards his patients. He is being ambivalent. So what do these sentences all have in common? They express an action. Okay? So if you're going to write down your sentences, pwede nyo ipa-check sa akin later. Tapos sulatan nyo na lang ng being plus having activity on the top so that I can identify what your sentence is about. Okay, so I know this word ambivalent is actually a new word and probably you're unfamiliar with it. So when we say he is being ambivalent towards his patients, ibig sabihin nun, having mixed emotions. Alright? So, maaring natutuwa, nagagalit, or naiinis. It's just a mix of emotions. That's what ambivalent actually means. Alright? It's okay if you don't take pictures or screenshots of anything because we'll be posting or we'll be attaching the material after posting the lecture today. Okay? Alam ko kasi nagpipicture kayo ng screen kasi mamaya mahagip ako. I don't really want that. Okay? So, let's take a look at this explanation. Being plus adjective is only used with adjectives which describe an attitude or behavior, such as being honest, patient, etc. Not those describing feelings, happy, sad, etc. Okay? So, being plus adjective, gagamitin lang natin siya when we are expressing someone's attitude or behavior. For example, she was being, so we have the be verb was plus being, sarcastic. Sarcastic is an attitude. Ano ibig sabihin ng sarcastic? Yung may sinasabi siya pero that person really means the opposite thing. You're so beautiful today. Parang sarcastic ako. So, siguro, let's say, a student came here, medyo natalsikan siya ng baha, ganon. Wow! You look so neat and proper. So, I'm being sarcastic if I say that, okay? Sarcasm is like the opposite of being honest and obvious, all right? So, mali yung sentence atong nasa baba. She was being delighted after her boyfriend gave her a bouquet of roses. So, you don't need to put the word, you don't need to add being. You can just say, she was delighted. She was delighted after her boyfriend gave her a bouquet of roses. Hashtag sana all. Sana all bibigyan ng roses, di ba? But anyways, there you go. Another example. She was happy after finding out that she passed the exam, right? She was happy. So you don't need to say she was being happy or she's being happy. You don't, it's an emotion, right? So you can't put being because an emotion already states that you are feeling a certain way. Okay? She was happy after knowing that she passed the exam. Okay. Pag lang attitude or behavior, okay? She was being very honest. Or ano ba may mga behavior? Bitchy. Okay. He was being bitchy towards the waiter. Okay, pwede yon. Because you're describing an attitude or a behavior. Ano ba bang ibang behavior? Can you name something, Jason? Honest, patient, kind. She was being kind. Laura was being kind to her classmates. Pwede yun. Was being kind. Laura was being kind. Kind is a behavior. It's an attitude. Okay? So do you see the difference between the two? Saan ka maglalagay ng being at saka kung saan ka hindi maglalagay ng being. Alright? So if you don't have any questions, let's move on to the next slide. Because we have a total of 42 slides today. At nasa pang 9 pa lang tayo. Alright, so the do verb, we have different forms depending on your subject, if it's singular or plural. So we have do, does, did. So this is used when you are showing emphasis, negatives, and questions. For example, she did not eat dinner last night. Does the hotel have a gym and pool? And he was assigned to switch off all the lights before leaving. Tip, he did. Do not worry as much. So it's used for emphasis. For example, I say, I had a really good sleep last night. I did get enough sleep last night. So gusto mo emphasize yung fact na I got enough sleep or good quality sleep last night. So I would add the word did. I did get enough and good quality sleep last night. All right? And of course, when you're asking a question, did you get good quality sleep last night? Yung mga itsura nyo parang hindi eh. So did you get enough quality sleep last night? How many hours of sleep? Huwag kayong mag-excuse sa akin kasi ako 4 hours of sleep lang ako. You must be looking fresh if you have 8 hours of sleep or more, right? Anyways, questions, negatives, did not. I did not get enough sleep last night. Okay? Now we're going to talk about sense verbs. I believe in one of my discussions in previous grammar lectures, I did talk about the different kinds of sense verbs and their function. Pag sinabi nating sense verbs, those are the 5 human senses. So what are the 5 human senses? Balik tayo sa science. Very basic lang to, guys. Naalala niyo ba yung 5 senses? Or wala na kayong sets? So, sense of sight. Sense of... O, paunahan pa kayo ngayon. Isa-isa lang. Okay, sense of smell. Taste, alright? Parang nasa elementary room lang ako ngayon eh. Sense of touch. What else? Hearing. Sense of hearing. Yan, 5. May isa pa joke. Wala na walang isa. Okay. So, these are sense verbs. When you express your senses, these are the verbs that you would usually use. Okay? Appear. Ang sense na to is sense of sight. Because you can describe something like an apple. The apple appears to be very juicy and sweet. Pero pagkagat mo, poisonous pala. Okay. So, there. Grow, sense of feel. Oh my god. Seem. Seem is sense of tight dental, okay? Taste, sense of taste, you know this. Feel, remain. So you have to kind of memorize these sense verbs for you to know what are the different sense verbs, okay? Okay, natin siya isa-isa kasi it's so complicated. So when we say sense verbs, these are used as linking verbs to present adjectives. For example, he seems to be he seems to be exhausted. So we have the subject he, okay? He is the person. And we have the sense verb seems. Mukha siyang exhausted. When we say exhausted, super pagod. Okay? So the adjective in that sentence, sige nga, itatype ba? Paano gumagana yung type dito? So that you have a clear idea of what I'm actually talking about. Oh, you can't see it actually. I'm typing it, but you can't see it. So what do we do? Okay, can you see it now? He seems to be he seems to be very exhausted. Okay, so mas makita niyo na humaan. Ay, maliit pa rin. Why? Anyways, it's okay. So we have the subject. The subject is he, right? And then the sense verb is seems. Exhausted. Ano to? What function does it have? Adjective. It's an adjective because it describes the subject or it describes a noun. You got it? Okay. So another example. What another example can we think of? Let's use sound. The sense verb sound. The neighbor's amplifier, I guess, sounds annoying. Okay. So we have our subject, which is, ano yung subject natin dito, guys? Neighbor, amplifier, what? But what sounds annoying? Si neighbor ba yung annoying o si amplifier? So si amplifier yung subject. Okay? Yung sumagot ng neighbor. Okay, so subject is neighbor and subject is neighbor's amplifier pero pinaka subject is amplifier, okay? And then we have the sense verb which is sounds and we also have the adjective which is annoying. Okay? Okay. Hala. Oh, there. Okay. All right. So this is actually what I just discussed about sense verbs. If using a noun to describe the subject, the word like is used. So let's take a look at more example sentences. So there. Sense verbs versus action verbs. Your perfume smells heavenly. Okay? So that's a sense verb. The pizza tasted delicious. The puppy looks sad. Cheese. And then we have, hindi lang maganda yung pagkaka-arrange, pero they've tasted the delicious pizza. So yun yung pagkakaiba. Alright? Can you see that? The pizza tasted delicious. It's a sense verb because it describes how the pizza tastes like. But in the next question, in the next sentence given here, they tasted the delicious pizza. It's an action. Okay? Because we have the subject doing the action, which is tasted the delicious pizza. Okay? Do you understand how you can differently use a sense verb and an action verb? Yeah. Okay, another example is kulang kasi yung nasa umpisa, pero dapat ano yan, your perfume smells heavenly, or you can say, I smell the heavenly perfume. Okay? I smell the heavenly perfume. It's an action verb, which is I smell. I, the subject, and I'm doing the action, which is smell. I can smell the heavenly perfume. Action verb siya. Where in the first example, your perfume smells heavenly, it was used as a sense verb. Do you see the difference? They're both verbs, but they function differently in sentences depending on how you have constructed them. Okay, another example is the puppy looks sad. Mukha daw malungkot yung puppy. Okay, so the child looked at the sad puppy. So yung word na look, yung verb na look, ginamit siya as action sa pangalawang sentence because we have the subject, which is the child, who did the action, which looked at the sad puppy. Okay, can you write down some sentences right now? I want you to make one example. Pili kayo ng sense verb. And pumili kayo from here. And I want you to make two parallel sentences. One as a sense verb and one as an action verb. Can you do that, please? Kagaya ng examples na pinakita dito. At least two verbs. Okay? I'll be roaming around to check if you're doing it right. Okay? Okay. Can somebody volunteer their sentences? Let's start with the sense verbs muna. Okay, let's see. I think I'm confident that Jaden can provide one good sentence. Okay. Dapat subject. They smell the horrendous well. Okay. Dapat yung subject, yung gagawa ng action. They smell. They can smell. Okay, anybody else? Hindi ko mabasa yung sa'yo. Hindi ko. Can you just say it out loud? The mentor looks happy. Oh yeah, that's actually correct. It's a sense verb. How about you? Huh? Your presence seems that. Talaga ba? Bakit naman? I'm so happy kaya. Your presence seems sad. Tama naman. Eh, asan yung parallels in it? I can Bakit spaghetti? May spaghetti ka sa bag? I thought you had spaghetti. Yeah, it was crazy for spaghetti. Okay, anybody else who wants to confidently show their answers? No? Ito magaling to gawa ng sentences. Don't hide. The ano naman? What's your name again? Maria? Oh. Maria! Ano na ulit mo? Sheila pala. I'm so sorry. Can I see it? Magaling to gumawa ng sentences, nagpapacheck siya sa akin. Through DM. Okay. So, hopefully, na-apply nyo ng tama. Pero sa nakita ko naman, most of you, you did it correctly. So, I'm confident you understood it. Anybody else who would like to volunteer? How about people here on Zoom? Oh, we have somebody here who. Okay, we have Jardy Neil. Thank you. Okay. So the sentence given was, she looks beautiful. Wait lang. Ma'am Shannon looks beautiful today. Uy! Walero tong si Neil. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, so sabi dito, sa example niya, she looks beautiful on her dress, in her dress today. She looks beautiful in her dress. So, ano yun? Action or sense? She looks beautiful in her dress. Sense verb. Tama, tama, tama. Sense verb. And then the other sentence that he made is, she looked after, okay. She looked at her beautiful dress today. Action. Yun na yung action. Yung iba sa inyo parang medyo nakaganon ba kayo? Hindi, nalilito pa kayo sa sense tsaka sa action. Magbigay pa ba ako ng example? Bakit? Okay, hang on. Okay. I'm gonna give a more what do you call this? Detailed example. Wanna like take. Okay. Let's use the verb appears. She appears tired after the long trip. So in this sentence, was it used as a sense verb or as an action verb? Okay. What? Tell me. What's your final answer? She appears tired. It talks about appearance, right? So it's a sense verb. Another example is um the actor appears on stage for the first time. So on the second example, is it used as an action or a sense verb? Nalilito ba rin kayo? So, she appears tired. It describes her appearance. So, di ba sense of sight? So, pag tinignan mo siya, mukha siyang pagod. She appears tired. That's why it's a sense verb. Okay? Now, on the second example, it's an action word or verb because ginawa niya. Hindi siya mukhang si actor, walang sinabing mukha siyang pagod, mukha siyang masaya. Ang sabi lang sa sentence na to, the actor appears on stage. Ibig sabihin, lumabas siya sa stage. Nagpakita siya sa mga tao for the first time. You get the difference? Do I need more clarification or are we good? We good, right? Okay, buti naman. Nakapagod mag-explain eh. I'm just kidding. All right. So, yeah, let's move on. We're going to talk about transitive versus intransitive verbs. Let's take it slowly para naman masundan nyo ng maayos. Bakit? Wait, wait. Bakit yung profile picture ko lumalabas doon? Wait lang, guys. I'm quite shy. I'm quite shy, pero friend niyo pala ako sa Facebook. I actually want to make another account para dun ko na lang i-add yung mga students when you want to ask something. Because I feel like it's invading my privacy when I have you guys as my friends. So sa mga hindi pa ako ina-add as friend, huwag niyo na akong i-add, okay? That's why I'm gonna think about it more before I accept friend requests. So, guys, wait lang. There's a technical error on Zoom. It's not working properly. So, sa mga Zoom participants, can you currently see my screen or hear my audio? Is everything okay? Give me some feedback so I would know. Yeah. Wait ba yan? Okay, I'll just keep it like this. Hey there. I think it's gonna work now. A little too fast though. Okay, I know it's a little bit smaller now, but I can't help it. Nakikita niyo ba? Can you read it? Yeah. Okay, so we have transitive versus intransitive verbs. Let's first define what is intransitive verbs. They represent actions that do not need a recipient. Yun. Okay? Hindi na kailangan ng recipient. For example, they can't see my screen. And okay, these are the words that are exactly what you can use when you're using intransitive verbs. So we have belong, fall, kneel, sleep, cuff, go, lie, travel, dance, remain, walk, and the list goes on. These are just the basic words or examples to use. Okay? So for more sentence examples, let's take a look at the next slide. She travels to Europe every summer and takes photographs of tourist spots. So it's an intransitive verb. Why? Because nobody receives the action. He walked in the park, but he forgot his jacket at home. So these are all examples of intransitive verbs. Another one is Jeremy jumped from his seat to catch the falling plate. Okay? So last example, can you please identify which one is the intransitive verbs and which are the transitive verbs? Okay, jumped is intransitive. But the verb catch is transitive because it affects the plate. I will catch the plate. Alright? So may action done. Pero yung Jeremy jump, wala naman receiver sa action. So it's intransitive. Okay. We have participles. When we say participles, ito yung we have past, present participles. So if it's past participles, it expresses a past action like went, gone. All right? And then we also have present participles. You just add ing. I am going to the mall. Or I was going to the mall if you want it to be in past tense. Okay, let's make some more examples. Earlier, I said that I want to discuss the difference between will and going to. Kailan ko ba gagamitin yung will at kailan ko gagamitin yung going to? And magkamukha lang naman yon kasi you're using it in the future tense. Okay? But there is a slight difference between will and going to. So, when you use the verb will, for example, I will go to London next month. I will go to London next month. When you use the word will, pwede pang ma-cancel. Kasi pinaplano ko pa lang siya. Right? I think I will go to London next month. But if you are going to use I am going to London next month, it means nakabook na yung ticket mo. It's already planned and there's a higher possibility that it will happen. So do you see the difference? Kaya ngayon mag-ingat na kayo sa mga will at saka going to. Are you going to marry me? Will you marry me? Ganun. Ibig sabihin, kaya nga yung tanong na will you marry me, hindi pa sure. Kasi hindi pa nag-yes si girl eh. Diba? Kaya dapat gamitin yung will. Kasi pag naman sinabi mo, are you going to marry me? Or it means sure na sure ka na mag-yes. Right? But of course, for men, it's not 100% a yes. Because you never know. Diba? You never know if it's a yes or no. Okay? What else? If your boss asks you, let's say you have a year-end party, total August na, malapit na naman yung Burr months, mga Christmas parties, year-end parties and all. So, will you attend the year-end party this December? I am going to attend. Ibig sabihin, sure na sure ka nang a-attend ka. I will be attending the party, but I have to check my schedule first. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ka ba sure? Alright? What is it? But actually, you can use will and I am going to interchangeably. It's just, you have to know the degree of your intention. Kung talaga bang sure ka na or hindi. Okay. So when it comes to voices, we also have what you call an active voice, meaning the subject is the doer of the action. All right, so the given example is only female mosquitoes bite people. May malaking space dito para sana i-type ko yung mga sentences, pero guys, medyo hassle siya since naglolo ko yung Zoom, so I'll just send it here sa bago nating GC. Lahat ba kayo part na kayo ng bagong GC na ginawa ni Sir Kevin? Are you part of it? Okay, that's good. I will send it there, okay? Wala ka pa? Okay, I will invite you. Paano ba ginawa ni Sir Kevin? In-invite ba niya isa-isa or what did he do? Or nag-invite lang kayo? In-invite niyo sarili niyo? Ito ba yun? Yung may kulay violet? Schedule 2.0. Ito yun, di ba? Okay. Nag-notify sa inyo, guys. Kaya kayo nakapasok. So these are the sample sentences that the voice of the subject is active. Okay? I gave you 10 different example sentences. Run. Pwede niyong mabasa dyan, okay? The children run across the playground. Why is it an active voice? Because the children are doing the action. All right? The children run across the playground. Write. She writes a letter to her friend. Again, the verb write is being done by the woman. And the other examples, the workers build a new bridge. They eat lunch together at noon. Subject is they, verb is eat. He sings his favorite songs at the karaoke. My father drives us to school every day. The team plays basketball every weekend. The artist paints beautiful sunset. The teacher teaches grammar to the students, and I read a book before going to bed. Okay? So that's what you call an active voice, meaning the subject of the sentence is the actual doer of the action. Okay? Do you need any clarification about that? Thank you for the feedback, Zoom participants. It's very helpful. Ayaw switch ng slide, guys. Wait lang. This is so annoying. So, okay. So here are more sample sentences. The professor is giving a lecture to the students. So, ano yung word dito na present participle? Yung be verb natin ay, can you identify it? Is, di ba? Is, am, are, those are be verbs. What is the present participle? The one with ing. Giving, okay? The professor is giving a lecture to the students. Do you understand? And if you're using the simple tense, you're just gonna put an S. For example, the professor gives a lecture to the students. So, pag ginawa natin plural si subject, the professors give. Okay? Kaya lang siya may S kasi si subject ay singular. You get it? The professor gives a lecture. She eats pancakes. Pero if we pluralize the subject, they eat pancakes. They give a lecture. Alright? So baka nalilito kasi kayo sa S tsaka sa walang S eh. Okay? So in verbs, we also have what you call the passive voice. So when we say active voice, si subject ay doer ng action. But when it comes to the passive voice, the subject is actually the receiver of the action. All right? As seen in this example given here, students were given a lecture by the professor. So, we have here the subject students. And then what is the passive voice of the verb? Were given. Okay? Yung be verb natin ay were. Pag student lang, the student was given. Past participle, given. Nakatanggap daw ang mga students ng lecture galing kay professor. Kaya siya passive voice. Because si subject tumanggap ng action. Hindi siya yung gumawa ng action. Do you understand it? I know it's really confusing, but you just have to, pag tinagalog ko naman naiintindihan niyo, right? Am I right? I want to know if you're following, guys, para sure ako na hindi tayo madali to move on to the next lesson. All right. In the very first slides, I did discuss to you what are the different be verbs, right? Okay. So this sentence over here is an active voice. Only female mosquitoes bite people. Paano natin siya gagawing passive voice? People are bitten by female mosquitoes. Gets yun na? So, ito active voice kasi mosquitoes bite. Si mosquito, nangangagat. So, female mosquitoes bite people. But if I change it to passive voice, it sounds like people are bitten by female mosquitoes only. Natanggap nila yung action. Nakagat sila ng mosquitoes. Okay? Uy, uso yung dengue ngayon. Mag-ingat kayo. Paano ba mag-ingat sa dengue? Well, you have to clean your space, right? Like, yung paligid ng bahay nyo and I guess repellent. Kasi yung kapitbahay namin na dengue. So, nag-overthink tuloy ako ngayon. So, anyway, mosquitoes, dengue mosquitoes are active during the day. Kung may makikita kayo, I think they have like white stripes on them. And maybe you could buy like the electric racket that you could like, yeah. Pero usually, kailangan talagang, like if you have water vases in your house, you have to clean them. Para, kasi doon nag-stay yung mga mosquitoes. It's, prevention is better than cure. So I'm telling you these tips para hindi kayo madengue. So ayan yung given example. Should I give more examples of active versus passive voice? Kasi parang medyo lito pa kayo, no? O sige. Madali akong kausap. Make sentences, example. Okay, so let's have this. Simplihan ko na lang. She writes a letter. What's the subject? She. The action, writes. So we have the subject, who is the doer of the action. She writes a letter. Now, if we're going to turn it into passive voice, a letter is written by her. So, kung makikita nyo, be plus past participle. A letter is, be verb yun. Written, past participle, by her. A letter is written by her. She writes a letter. It's actually the same thing. Iniba mo lang yung structure. Okay? So, ma'am, alin yung susundin ko? Depende sa iyo kung anong gusto mo, okay? We're not going to, like, force you to do anything. They eat pizza. Sige, gawin nyo ang passive voice. They eat pizza. Tama naman, pero kulang lang ng be verbs. The pizza is eaten by them. Okay? Is that what my is? The pizza is eaten by them. Okay? Next. The workers build a house. The workers build a house. The house. So, di ba yung sentence, the builders build a house. The house is built by the builders. Workers ba yung sinabi ko nung una? Sorry naman. Bilis makalimot eh. Same lang naman kasi builders, workers, it's the same thing. Oo nga no, workers nga pala yung una ko sinabi. Gusto ko builders. Okay, next. One more, para talagang gets na gets nyo. Shannon teaches English. Shannon teaches English. Sige, gawin nating passive voice. English is taught by... Aw, so sweet. You said my name. Without ma'am. Ba't di nyo nilagyan ng ma'am? Okay. Again, English is taught by Ma'am Shannon, right? Okay. Hindi naman tayo tropa dito, guys. Okay. I think that's it for the passive and the active voice. I'm gonna give you a 5-minute break. See you in 5 minutes. Talaga. Yeah, check mo. I mean, pwede ko naman, like, isend mo sa akin na lang sa DM. Kasi, yeah, I can't today. I'm really busy. Okay, so let's now talk about the regular and irregular verbs. So, when we say regular verbs, ito yung mga verbs na kahit baguhin mo yung, you're just gonna add extra letters and mababago na yung meaning ng verbs. But irregular verbs, kailangan mong baguhin yung pinaka-word. Okay? So, for example, ito yung mga regular verbs. Want, wanted. Warn, warned. Earn, earned. You just add ed or d to make it into past tense. But, yung mga irregular verbs, for example, go, went. I will go to the party, pero pag ginawa mo past tense, I went to the party. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga example ng irregular verbs? Yung verb na cut. Di ba? Ano ba yung past tense ng cut? Cut din. Put. Okay, those are irregular verbs. But for example, print, printed. Love, loved. Yan, okay? So let's take a look at the list of irregular verbs. Go, went, gone. I will go to the party. I went to the party. I have gone to the party. So, ayan din yung bear. Hindi yung bear na noun na animal Bear as in, I can't bear it anymore. Right? Hindi ko na matigas, gano'n. Beat, begin, bend, bet, bid. Okay, so, for example, begin. Ano yung past tense ng begin? Began. And past participle, begun. Bite, bit, bitten. Break, broke, broken. Bring, brought, brought. Okay? Build, built, built. Yung iba, hindi ko na isa-isahin kasi di ako sure. Or, it's just hard to do everything. More irregular verbs. Sige, try natin tong catch. Ano yung past tense ng catch? Okay. Kala ko sasabihin nyo, catched. Hindi yun it's caught. Parang teach, taught. Alright. And drive, drove, driven, drink, drunk, drank. Alright? Sino nakaisip ng drinkin? Walang drinkin. Okay, drink, drank, drunk. Yun yung kapag when you had too much to drink, you get drunk, right? Okay. And yeah, you don't have to take photos or screenshots. These will be listed in, it will be included in the attachment that I sent later. Okay, this is my favorite topic. Subject-verb agreement. So it's very important that your subject agrees with your verb because if it doesn't, it is grammatically incorrect. Okay? So kailangan talaga nag-agree. But because if it doesn't agree, hindi ka din maiintindihan ng kausap mo or you will be misunderstood. How do we know if the subject agrees with the verb? Of course, the number of subject must agree with the use or form of the verb. Okay? So, plural nouns or subjects, you should also use the plural form of the verb. Okay? They are excited to see you. So we have the subject they and the verb are. Hindi they is. Okay? We only use is when we're talking about singular subjects like she is, he is, it is. But in the case of the subject I, hindi pwedeng is, are. I am. Yun yung be verb na gagamitin mo, am. Okay? So, medyo magkabaliktad, guys, Pag yung subject may S, boys, girls, dogs, cats, it's in plural form. At tandaan nyo, pag yung subject or yung noun may S, it's in plural form. But if it doesn't have an S, it's singular. Okay? So, very obvious, sorry. What I was gonna say that the verb is opposite. Kapag may S, singular siya. Okay? Pag walang S, plural siya. For example, we have a plural subject, the boys. The boys love or loves swimming. The boys love swimming. Again, boys with an S is in plural form, and love without an S is in plural form. The boys love swimming. Okay, another example. The children, ito, very tricky ito, The children enjoy or enjoys riding the horses. Children is in plural or singular? The children enjoy without S. Kasi children plural yon. At walang S. You get it? The children enjoy riding the horses. Okay. Now let's use singular form of nouns or subjects. The child enjoy or enjoys riding horses. The child enjoys riding horses. Okay? So there you go. Another example is it. Gamitin natin yung subject na it. It plays a pivotal role in my life. It, I'm pertaining to a singular subject. Plays, nilagyan natin ng S, naging singular siya. Kasi nga pag ang verb may S, nagiging singular siya. She loves to eat. It plays a pivotal role. Ano yung pivotal? I-search nyo lang. Okay. So, Next we have the kitten. The kitten drinks milk. Kitten is one. Isa lang siya, the kitten. Okay, the kitten drinks milk. What if I say the kittens drink or drinks? Pag may narinig yung S, sino yun? Again, the kittens. Nilagyan ko ng S. Marami na sila. The kittens drink. Di ba kapag may S yung subject, tatanggalan mo ng S si verb. Na-stress me pa. Okay, do you understand it, guys? The kittens drink milk. That's what you call subject-verb agreement. You have to always make sure that your subject agrees with your verb. Hininaan yung aircon. Sino yan? Mainit nga. Okay. But we do have some exemptions because there's a list of nouns that are in plural form but singular in meaning. May mga nouns daw na may S, pero singular lang yung singular lang sila, okay? For example, news. Mathematics. Hindi mo lang pwedeng tanggalin yun. Anong subject nyo ngayon? Mathematics. Statistics, physics, politics, economics, athletics, gymnastics, bowls, billiards, darts, dominoes, drops, measles, mumps, shingles, and the list goes on. Yan lang yung mga basic na nouns, plural in form, but singular in meaning. Okay? What subject are you studying right now? I'm studying physics. Physics is our subject right now. Hindi physics are. Kasi nga physics, although may S siya, it functions as a singular noun. Kasi yun lang talaga siya. Hindi mo naman pwedeng ang alisin yung S sa physics. Mamamali na siya. Okay? Physics. Walang physics, okay? Example, gymnastics requires someone to be very flexible. So yung word na requires, since may S siya, it's a singular verb, requires. Gymnastics, may S siya, pero it is used as a singular unit. Gymnastics requires someone to be very flexible. What if I change the subject to the job? Requires. Because the job is singular, right? What if I say the bosses? The bosses require or requires someone to be very flexible. The bosses. The bosses naging plural na siya. Kasi ang singular ng the boss, ng bosses ay boss. Okay? So, aalisin mo na ngayon yung S sa verb kasi nga plural si noun, singular naman, plural si verb din. Tatanggalin mo yung S. The bosses require someone to be very flexible. Nalilito kasi kayo kasi nga gymnastics may S. Okay, again. The HR manager requires someone to be very flexible. The HR manager, singular, requires singular, may S. Pag kasi verb, lalagyan ng S pag singular, di ba? Balik tayo dun sa inuna kong rule kanina. Now, ano yung sabi ko? HR manager. Okay. sorry. Aging problems, aging. 4 hours of sleep. Ang daming excuses eh. So, if I change it to HR managers, I make the subject plural. Gagawin ko din plural si verb. So, tatanggalin ko na ngayon yung S. HR man, tinanggal ko rin yung the. Pwede naman kasing HR managers require someone to be very flexible. Ito yung example, guys, kung hindi nyo nakikita. Alright, do you understand now the difference? Or nalilito pa rin? Mumps was endemic at one point in Europe. So kahit mumps has an S, we're still gonna use it, refer it to as a singular subject. Was. Okay? COVID was a pandemic 3 years ago. Tama ba? 3 years ago, 2022 pandemic pa ba yun? 2019 to 2021, diba? 2019, 2020, 2021, 2 years of pandemic. No 2022, medyo nakakaahon-ahon na tayo sa kahirapan ng buhay. So, 4 years ago, COVID-19 was a pandemic 4 years ago. The diseases were, so ginawa kong diseases. The diseases were highly affecting the community. Okay? If I change it to the disease was highly affecting the community. Okay? Got it? So we also have yung kabaliktaran naman. There are nouns that are in singular form but plural in meaning. Walang S, pero they are considered as a unit. Police, people, livestock. Livestock means farm animals, sheep, goats, whatever. Cattle, it pertains to the whole herd of cows. Poultry, deer, elk, fish, we don't say fishes, fowl, moose, and sheep. All these words, they don't have any S, but they are considered as plural in meaning. Okay? Example. Malamig na nga siya. Nilakasan ko pa talaga. Okay. Fish are normally the preferred source of omega-3 for most vegetarians. Not fish is. Fish are. Okay. Let me ask you a question. The police are investigating the crime scene. That's the subject that I use, the police. How about if I change it to the police officers? Wala kang sumagot, pag-isipan niyo muna. The police officers are or is investigating the crime scene. Sino sumagot ng is? Mali. So the right answer is are. Kasi officers, marami. The police officers, nilito ko lang talaga kayo guys. The police officers are investigating the crime scene. Okay? If I say, Smith, Trent Smith, the police officer, is or are investigating the crimes. And pertaining to one guy only. His name is Trent Smith, and he's a police officer. May friend talaga ako, Trent Smith, pangalan niya. He's from the US. Okay, but he's not a police officer. I just thought of him randomly. So, Trent Smith, comma, a police officer, comma, is investigating the crime scene. Because we're pertaining to one police officer. Okay? But in this case, kasi police is considered as plural. Di mo naman kasi pwedeng sabihin the polices. Kung gagawin mo siyang plural, like you want to be specific about it, you just say police officers. Ay, mga police officer dyan. Ba't tayo na ituloy? Okay, so we have gerunds and infinitives. They are supposed to be functioning as singular subjects. Pag sinabi nating gerunds, hindi si Gerald Anderson gerunds, yun yung words na may ing, but they function as a noun. Entertaining multiple goals makes a person's life stressful. So, we have the gerund entertaining. So, we have the verb makes. Sabi nga, all gerunds and infinitives have to be used in singular form. Kaya, makes. Entertaining multiple goals makes a person's life stressful. Infinitive, to bake. Okay, so to bake pastries is my hobby. Again, we use singular verb, is. To bake pastries. Yun yung infinitive. Planning a road trip. Planning is a gerund. Kasi may ing, right? Planning a road trip to 3 different cities involves a great deal of planning. Okay? So as you can see, the subject is planning a road trip, and the verb is involves. Nalilito ba kayo sa gerunds? There's a specific lecture which is focusing only on gerunds, infinitives, and all that sort. So if I were you, and if you're still confused with those functions, then you might as well, you might as well attend that lecture when it's scheduled, okay? Certain nouns must always be in plural form. Again, we have a list of nouns that should be in plural form. We have belongings, clothes, congratulations, earnings, goods, odds, outskirts, particulars, premises, remains, riches, surroundings, things, troops, tropics, arms, customs, manners, savings, and damages. Okay? Yung word na damage, pwede siyang walang S, pero this pertains to, for example, you got into an accident. What are the damages that I should pay? Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin what is the damage, kasi for sure, if you get involved in an accident, maraming damages yun. It's not just physical damages, it's a long list of damages, right? Emotional damage, yeah. Actually, it is. Kasi di ba, what are the results of an accident? You may na-late ka sa event, or probably sa work. So, for sure, your boss is gonna scold you for that. And then, ano ba yung mga damages when you get into an accident? Financial damages, because you need to pay for the repair and all that. Okay, so let's take a look at the example. The goods were purchased from the grocery. So when you are using nouns in plural form, such as belongings, clothes, you have to use the plural form of the verb to. The goods were purchased from the grocery. Her belongings are in the trunk. Her belongings are in the trunk. Alongside with her decapitated body. Huy! Nanood na naman siya ng documentary. Decapitated body, ibig sabihin nun, her belongings were in the trunk. Panoorin niyo sa Netflix. A British Horror Story. Yun yung pinapanood ko nowadays. At mapapractice nyo rin yung British listening skills nyo. Yeah, watch it on Netflix. It's so good. I'm on the 3rd episode, I think. Kasi, ba't ko pinapanood yun? Kasi sobrang unique ng story. It's because, a hopeless niya pala. Ay, oh my God. Spoiler alert! I'm so sorry. Pero, ang interesting lang kasi, pwede pala yun, no? Yung mag-asawa kayo, tapos accomplice kayo sa crime. That's so demonic. But anyway, panoorin nyo na lang. A British Horror Story. Oo. Tapos practice din kayong makinig mabuti kasi kakaiba magsalita yung yung police officers, yung mga investigators, yung mga detectives. Fred, are you sure that is the only thing that you are hiding from us? You know? Tutok talaga ako pag nanonood ako ng British accent or Australian accent kasi hindi rin ako sanay actually. So you guys, it's a good recommendation. Iba na ngayon yung mga nire-recommend ko. Last year, nire-recommend ko Bridgerton. Nagbago na yung mga preferences ko when it comes to genres. I'm more into psychoanalytical and crime investigations, ganyan. Because you can actually use it in real life. Kasi no, what I mean is, to be hindi yun yung ibig kong sabihin, guys! Let me explain myself. What I'm trying to say is, you can use it in real life situations. Why? You're not gonna be the perpetrator. Huh? No. What I mean is, you're not gonna be the perpetrator or the villain. You're not gonna be the bad guy. Only if the case requires you to be. But what I mean is, for you to prevent anything from happening. For example, nandun ka sa situation na gabi na, late na, and ikaw na lang yung tao sa jeep, do you really have to wait for the driver to drop you where and actually, you shouldn't do that, okay? Nakakatakot yun. When I was living in Manila, I would always, bumababa ako pag ako na lang yung sakay ng jeep. I'm looking for another jeep na maraming pasahero kasi that's safer, at least. So, yung pag nanonood kayo ng mga ganung documentaries, you tend to be more aware of what could happen to you, right? They're based on real life stories. Diba? Kasi totoong mga cases sila. And pag in-upload na sila sa Netflix, medyo luma na sila. Pero if you search YouTube, meron silang references. So definitely, mas scrutinize na yung mga researches sa Netflix since hindi naman nila yung i-air sa Netflix kung hindi siya reliable. Kung hindi siya accurate stories, right? So anyway, let's continue. But, guys, about sa writing pala, andito si Sir Kevin this week. So, huwag niyo sa akin i-send. So, magpa-check na kayo sa kanya in person. Bakit ba kasi ayaw niyo? I'm here na. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's gonna be here. I think it's gonna be here tomorrow or Saturday, Friday. I'm not sure. Di pa kasi clear yung schedule namin this week, but definitely it's gonna be here. Okay? So, sa kanya kayo magpa-check. Huwag sa akin. Wala namin siyang time eh. So, we also have what you call pair nouns. Like, my glasses. Hala, wala akong makakilala. Okay. So, when you're wearing glasses, they are considered one unit. But of course, you have ES glasses, sunglasses, eyeglasses, and then pants, pajamas. Hindi mo naman pwedeng tanggalan ng S yan because they always come together. Why may S yung jeans? Kasi pants siya. Okay? Ngayon, jeans is pertaining to pants na denim ang tela. Ngayon, kung gusto mong particularly maong ang ibig mong gustong sabihin is what you call denim. A denim jacket, denim jeans, denim pants. Pero pag sinabing jeans, pants talaga siya na denim yung cloth. Okay? So, pair nouns take the singular form when you use pair of. But they take plural form pag wala kayong ginamit na phrase, pair of. Okay? For example, the pair of scissors is used by the student. The pair of scissors is used by the student. Her scissors, pwede namang, her scissors are used by the student. Okay? Plural siya pag walang ginamit na a pair of. Parang a cup of coffee. The pair of binoculars is used by most tourists to see different breeds of birds in the marshland. His pajamas were given by his mother. Okay. Can you hand me? Okay, wait. Let me just make another example. And these shorts is or are in the washing machine. And these shorts is or are in the washing machine. Binago bigay yung sagot. hindi consistent. What's the answer? Okay. And these shorts are, kasi nga they take it plural form nga daw, oh. Plural form if they are used on their own. Hindi ko naman sinabing pair of shorts. Sabi ko lang, and these shorts are in the washing machine. Now, if I change it to, and these pair of shorts is in the washing machine. And these pair of shorts is in the washing machine. Okay, one more example. Her glasses are broken. Her glasses are broken. Her glasses are broken. Okay? R is the right answer. How about her pair of glasses is in the compartment. Her pair of glasses is in the compartment. Kasi nga may pair of. Pag may pair of, nagiging singular. Okay? I like your Filipino accent. Singular. Charot lang. It's singular. Can you say that? Singular. Plural. Oh, may maririnig naman ako dyan. Singular. Tawa. Mapapagod na ako, guys. Tigilan natin to. Singular. Kayo lang singular dyan eh. Here, you can adjust it to your liking. Is it okay? 22? 22 na rin dito eh. Okay, let's continue. So, we also have what you call collective nouns. So the reason why they're called collective nouns because they're a group, but they are considered as one. Okay, the army, assembly, association, audience, board. Sino dito magsasabing chore? Choir. Kino-correct ko lang ba? Kasi mali yung pagkakabasa nyo eh. Club, college. Ganito mag-pronounce yung mga Koreano. College, damage. Silent E nga, di ba? Okay, committee. Community, company council, crew, crowd, enemy, group, jury, majority, management, military, minority, family, firm, gang, government. Okay, government. Government. So medyo silent N siya. So you're just gonna say government. And population, press, public, school, navy, orchestra, political. Isa pa. Political. Political. May narinig ako, political, sabi. Ayusin nyo naman. Political. Parang nag-pronunciation lecture na naman tayo. But last week's pronunciation was so fun, right? Yung mga wala dito last week, you missed out the fun. Ano na? I'm gonna take like a video of you guys. I'm gonna send it. Say hi, okay? What are you gonna say in the video? Talaga gusto niyo talaga mag-hi kay Sir Kevin. Okay, chance mo na to, girl. Mag-hi ka na. Really, what are you gonna say when I pan the video like that?
Goodbye, sir.
We miss you, ganun. Ba't kayo natawa? I-etchusin niyo lang natin siya, dali. Hi, Sir Kevin, we miss you. Ready? Dapat may drone. 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 Dati kasi may extra pag mga tourist guide, gano'n. Charot lang, syempre. Sige, wait. Alright, ready? Pag ginanod ko ano yung script? Hi, Sir Kevin. Gusto ko yung wait. Parang hindi naman pagkakagawa yung hi. Hi, sir. Uy, ayusin nyo naman. Bakit? Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Ano ba yan? Dapat sabay-sabay. 3, 2, 1. Sige, I'll say 3, 2, 1, okay? Hi, Sir Kevin. Mas kaway kayo. Tapos, ano ba? See you tomorrow, gano'n. Ay, hindi. Ano na sasabihin niya? We miss you. Pa-check ng writing na lang. Pa-check ng writing. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Ano ba yun? Hindi sabay-sabay, guys! Hi, Sir Kevin. We miss you na lang. Okay? 3, 2, 1, go! Ang plastic nila! I'll send it to the GC, ah. Tingnan natin yung reaction niya. Siyempre, angry niya to. Uy, sabay-sabay. Finally. Oh, ano po name niya sa Facebook? Saan na lang po hanapin ninyo? Madali lang po akong mahanap. Okay. When collective nouns are regarded as a unit, you use the singular form of the verb. The committee stands firm to impose its decision. But if the collective noun is used as individuals, the committee are debating amongst themselves how to impose their decision. Okay. The audience was very impatient. So they are regarded as one unit, okay? Which means you have to use the singular form of the noun. And in the second example, the audience are already in their right seats. So we use the plural form because they are considered as individuals. The audience are already in their right seats. And the show must begin. All right, so we have compound subjects are singular when there is words each or every. I believe we did review that in our past grammar lessons. Na pag may each and every, they are considered as singular. Okay, so let's take a look at the examples. Each tree and bush was infested with bugs. Why did we use was? Kasi merong each, okay? Such as, same with every man and woman is asked to vote. Pero, all, pag binago natin, tinanggal natin yung every. All men and women are asked to vote. But since we have every, it becomes a singular form. Okay, you have to use a singular form of the verb. So another example is each has a piece of his, her own paper. So walang naka-indicate na each student, each person, pero ano na yun, it's already implied. The message is implied, okay? Each has a piece of his, her own paper. Kasi tatandaan nyo, pag may each and every, laging singular si verb. And another rule is when we refer to only one thing or person logically, but they logically go together. So, ang expression kasi na friend and confident, isang expression lang yon. She is my friend and confident. Okay? We're pertaining to one person. That's why we use is. And then bread and butter. Alam niyo ba tong expression na bread and butter? Our family business is our bread and butter. It means it's our source of income. It's what make us rich and survive, ganon. Survive on a daily basis because that's our main source of income. That's just an example, guys, okay? Yon, bread and butter. For example, a person got into an accident and it affected his mobility. Hindi na siya makalakad forever. Masama yun for that person because his bread and butter is actually pupunta tayo doon, wait lang. Tapusin ko muna explanation ko about bread and butter. Let's say, si driver, ang bread and butter niya ay ang pagmamaneho. Like, pagiging jeepney driver, pagiging taxi driver, whatever. Basta, ang source of income niya ay pagdadrive. Ngayon, pag na-aksidente siya, at if, let's say, na-aksidente siya at wala na, hindi na, paralyzed na yung legs niya. Wala naman tayo sa US, wala tayo ditong available pa ng mga self-driving cars. So, definitely, bread and butter niya is yung driving. Yeah, what is it? Is it self-driving already? Nakita mo na walang nagdo-drive sa loob? Pero kasi sa US, talagang self-driving talaga. Like, you can book a taxi and there's no driver inside. You're just gonna sit on the passenger seat and let the vehicle get you to wherever you need to go to. Okay, so anyways, back to bread and butter. Gets you by bread and butter? It's considered as one unit. Kaya ang gagamitin natin na verb is. Okay? Bread and butter. Breadwinner, yun yung taong siya yung pinaka kumikita sa family. Kasi yun yung uso sa Filipino families. Right? Someone has to be the breadwinner, someone has to start. Pero it doesn't mean na pag may breadwinner sa family, sa kanya lang tayo aasa, right? Because that's so hard. Like, it's emotionally damaging and it's physically exhausting. Definitely, it's physically exhausting. And, but sa ibang bansa kasi, 18 years old pa lang, teens get out of the house. They have the option to just live on their own and start working. Even though nag-aaral sila, they can get partial support, financial support from their parents, but it's optional. Pero if they want to go their own way, kung gusto pa nilang mag-aral or gusto lang nilang mag-work or whatever, they have their freedom to choose to do that. Dito lang naman sa Philippines yung may asawa na gano'n, nasa parents pa rin. But nothing wrong with that, okay? Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I understand. Ganun talaga. May mga situations that demand that kind of condition. But I feel like you have to be, at some point in your life, you have to be independent enough not to rely on your parents because our parents are getting old. They also need to live their life stress-free. At kung nandun ka lang sa bahay, stress sila. Unless na lang kung ikaw talaga breadwinner. Kung ikaw talaga yung nagbibigay ng maraming pera sa bahay, right? Gustong-gusto ka talaga ng parents mo na nandun. Or yeah, that's it. So basically, you guys are gonna be breadwinners soon because you're gonna leave the country and pursue your American dream. Whatever. Pwede pa lang Canadian, Australian, UK dream, whatever. Bakit kasi American lang yung sinabi ko? So you get it? Let's go back to the lesson. Compound subjects joined by either of the following and both, and should use the plural form. Ted's pen and pencil were missing from his notebook. Kaya lang naging iba yung rule pagdating sa dalawang example dito sa left side ng screen is because it comes as a unit. It comes as a pair. All right. So here we have the word both. Both grades and attendance were important considerations for this year's scholarship. So both speaking and writing subtests in your IELTS require you to be competent in grammar. So I said, both speaking and writing require. Ginawa ko siyang plural kasi wala siyang S. Pag verb, walang S, plural siya. Okay? Require you to be competent in grammar. What is it? Parang bagal ng oras. Gusto ko na kasing magtanong. Okay. Next rule. When acting as a subject of a sentence, gerunds and infinitives are always singular. Kapag daw ginagamit sila as subjects or yung main doer ng action, they function as a singular. Okay? So, entertaining multiple goals makes a person's life stressful. Umulit lang yung mga examples, guys. Parang umulit tong slide na to. Move na tayo dito. So we have indefinite pronouns. We studied indefinite pronouns a few weeks ago, if you remember, and if you were able to catch up with that lecture. But if not, indefinite pronouns are pronouns that do not particularly have a person in the sentence. You can't identify anyone, like, particularly, because indefinite pronouns come in these forms. Anybody, anyone, anything, everybody, everyone, everything. So they're generalized. Okay? No one, nobody, nothing, somebody, someone, something. These are all under the list of indefinite pronouns. So, pag daw may nakita or may ginamit kayong indefinite pronouns sa subject nyo, automatically singular verb ang gagamitin nyo. Okay? No one expects from me. Everyone is invited to come to my birthday bash. Okay, try to make a sentence. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Nothing beats. O, di ba yung beats, singular siya kasi may S. Ano ba? Someone is knocking on my door. Something smells fishy. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Literal naman, niliteral naman. Bakit na magkakasabi? Ibig sabihin ng something smells fishy, it's an expression which means there's like something devilish going on, or may something devilish is going on, like there's something wrong, something smells fishy, parang may nandadaya. Okay, hindi yung literal na amoy isda, ah. Ayoko na! Ayoko na mag-lecture. Okay, wait. So, for example, all right, so let's say you're in the bar partying, and then tatlo kayong babae sa table, and then like a group of boys will come and like talk to you, socialize with you, and or but napansin nyo na they're asking you questions about your residence, what time are you gonna go home, or what's your route to your house, ganyan. Then you can safely say, something smells fishy. We gotta get away from these people. You get it? Or, halimbawa, office setting naman. Okay? So, hindi nagtatali yung financial auditing ng isang company simula nung naupo si Delphine as the HR kineme. Ganyan. Let's just say like that, okay? Hindi nagtatali. Ever since siya yung naging HR manager or auditor. So ngayon, something smells fishy. There must be something going on. That's why yung Ha? Yeah. Deal with the problem on your own. Okay? Ikaw lang kasi yung nasa center kaya ikaw agad nakita ko eh. Sorry. Si ano naman? Si Jopet. Mark, di ba? Mark ba? Or John? John, no? Okay, John na nga lang. John. Let's say si John. Umuwi siya ng bahay. 2 a.m. na. Sabi ng misis niya. May misis ka ba? Wala. Ay, sorry. Man, kunwari lang, okay? Let's just, let's just make up a story. So, si John, umuwi ng bahay niya. 2 a.m. na. Sabi ng misis niya, ba't amoy kang babae? Ba't amoy kang perfume ng babae? Tapos meron pa siyang something sa leeg. Tapos something smells fishy. Sabi mo lang, napainom lang sa tropa, ganyan. But, you smell like the perfume of a woman. And you came home late at 2 a.m. Uwi pa ba yun? Imagine ako yung asawa eh, no? Uwi pa ba yun? Siyempre, hindi na siya makakapasok sa loob ng bahay kung ako yung asawa, di ba? Doon lang siya, matutulog siya sa labas. Something smells fishy. Okay? Tigil-tigilan niyo yung malansa at mabaho na pinagsasabi niyo na yan. Okay. So, I'm actually just killing time because I want to go home already. Plural indefinite pronouns. So, when you use these words such as both, few, many, several, you have to use the plural form of the verb. Hindi makaget over. Move on na tayo sa kay John. Uy, John, baka na-offend ka. Kasi kung makikita mo yung facial expression niya. Baka kasi nangyari na talaga sa kanya yun. Tapos sabi niya, ba't alam mo ma'am? Okay, anyway. Example lang naman yun, guys. Hindi ko naman kayo pinapersonal. Few of my friends are going to the dance. Few of my friends or both of my parents are working abroad. Both of my parents are working abroad. Several oranges were rotten in the basket. Several oranges were rotten in the basket. Oh, by the way, tomorrow is coaching day. Kung a-attend kayong lahat, hindi kayo mako-coaching. I'm not sure. Hindi pa ako sure kung ako. So, sino gusto magpa-coaching today? I'm accepting only 2. Wala. Kasi maaga-aga pa naman. So, you're just gonna be here tomorrow because you're gonna do the mock test too? Okay, sure. So, yeah. Many of the boys were struggling with their physics subjects, something like that. So, eto magagamit nyo to sa writing. Okay? Kasi magsusulat kayo ng statistical reports. Ay, para sa mga ACAD students, no? The number of, the average of, the percentage of, the proportion of. So, they are always considered singular. So, ang gagamitin nyo ay is, was, has. Okay? Pero, pag ang ginamit natin ay determiners, an, nagiging plural siya. Pag ginamit natin yung article na the, singular. Tandaan nyo yun, ha? Pag ginamit nyo yung articles or determiners na and an, you have to use the plural form of the verb. A number of people living in the UK are experiencing some crisis. An average of 30 new positions are available in the company. Nag-reply siya. Si Sir Kevin. Sabi niya, ang pa-plastic niyo daw. Okay, so, you have any questions? You will be using this in your task 1 for the ACAD students. Kaya naman, tandaan niyo tong rule na to para hindi naman na kayo mabawasan ng points. Okay? Words expressing amount, time, length, weight when taken as a unit should be using the singular verb. Okay? 10 kilos is enough for this week. Bawa, inutusan kayo ng nanay niyo, huli ka nga ng bigas doon. How many kilos should I buy, Mom? Ang arte. 10 kilos lang yung bibili mong bigas. Ang arte-arte mo magsalita. Parang, no? 10 kilos of rice is enough for this week. Okay? Next, we have unit of money, 50 cents. 50 cents was all he had left in his pocket. 3 years is quite an awful long time to wait for you. Wait for what? Yung 3 years daw siyang nanligaw tapos di siya sinagot. 3 years is quite an awful long time. It's an awful long time, right? Because you have to be clear with your feelings. Diba? If you don't like the guy or the dude, just say it right away. Why make him wait for 3 awful long years? Kay Sir Kevin siguro to. Siya ay. Na paghahalata yung mga may digestive problems. Ano na nga yung acid reflux, right? Yeah. I don't have acid reflux anymore. Congratulations to me. I told you, effective talaga yung turmeric or ginger tea. If you guys have acid reflux, just drink. Oh. Ganon. Hindi ko ina-expect sa'yo yung Joven. Medyo nakaka-surprise din yung mga students today, ano? Smells fishy, mabaho, malansa, something ganon. Hindi ko talaga yung makakalimutan. It's an idiomatic expression kasi. Kung si Sir Kevin kaya yung lecturer nun, baka isa-isa na yung pinalabas. Ay, nagmumura siya sa class? Yes. Oh my God. Baka po siya yung magsabi. Na ano? Okay, pwede bang i-dismiss na natin yung class? Kasi parang hindi na appropriate yung topic. Anyway, yeah. Guys, ibibigay ko yung pang ilang slide na ba to? We're almost on the last slide actually. Okay, so kapag gagamitan niyo ng one of the students is sick. Pero kung gagamitin niyo siya, so singular yung gagamitin niyo if one of the students is sick. Okay? Kagaya ng every, each, one of the students, kahit na naka-S si students, dun pa rin kayo titingin sa one of the. Kaya singular ang gagamitin yung verb. One of the students is sick. One of the students in Niners, is or are? Annoying. Annoying. Sino kaya? One of the students in Niners is or are annoying? Is annoying, okay. One of the problems of developing countries is unemployment. One of the issues in the Philippines is our corruption. One of the biggest issues in the Philippines is corruption. Okay. Sino dito yung gigil na sa mga napapanood nyo? Yung mga binadgetan na ano, no? Mga infrastructure. Tapos, ay nako. Ayoko na mag-talk. Alright, so, in this situation, relative causes agree with the number of the nouns they refer to. So, one of the students who are working on the project is sick. So, gagamitan mo rin siya ng singular. Kasi nasa loob siya ng phrase. One of the students who are working on the project is sick. So, kahit may nakahiwalay na ganyan, magre-refer pa rin kayo sa subject, one of the students. Kasi alam ko nakakalito pag meron ng mga phrases in between sentences, but always go back to the subject, then malalaman nyo kung ano yung verb na gagamitin ninyo. Okay? So, there you go. I will be ending the lecture right now. Do you have any questions before we end? Ma'am, nasan po si Sir Kevin? Hindi ko rin alam. Pag natapos po ako sa ginagawa ko, stay po ako dyan sa Kabanatuan. Oh, mag-aaral ka na ulit? Go ahead. So sa mga nasa Zoom, please do come tomorrow because yeah, may coaching naman talaga bukas. It's a regular thing. And of course, mock test na rin. I'll be ending this Zoom meeting. See ya.